Hello, Market Watcher. I'm David Ravel, and this is Value Side for Thursday, May 13. Today, America, the inflation outlier. That and the rest of corporate results and economic news coming right up. Something profound happened and was revealed yesterday. It was the announcement that inflation in the United States saw the biggest jump in years. The nation had literally turned around from a low inflation environment, where inflation was contained in the 1 or 2% range for years, to now a borderline high inflation nation with yesterday's measure coming in above 4%. What makes this so remarkable is that it is now the highest rate of inflation among the top 5 economies of the world. In the last report on inflation, only Germany had an inflation rate even close to the U.S., and Germany was only at 2% inflation. For China and the U.K., inflation was less than 1%, and for Japan, inflation was actually negative. So in general, inflation is not an issue for any of the Big Five, with the exception now of the USA. In one move, the United States now has an inflation rate that is higher than countries like Egypt, Chile, Peru, and South Africa, and we're now at a level which includes such countries as Cuba, Russia, and Saudi Arabia. Now, in evaluating how we got here, it's hard to escape the observation that there has been a dramatic turn in basic American economic policy. Anyone who has watched Joe Biden's first few days in office, where he literally changed, by executive order, many of the economic policy measures that we had been operating under, anyone has to acknowledge that things will now be different. And indeed, here we are. I'm afraid that it's easy to point to a series of economic policies that have characterized Democrat presidents since at least Lyndon Johnson, if not before. They are policies which have a three-pronged approach of increased taxation, increased regulation, and unlimited spending. In Biden, we've seen all three, and the results were in yesterday's inflation numbers. Biden now has on the table one of the most dramatic tax hikes we've seen at least since the 1970s, with major increases in capital gains taxes, corporate taxes, and high earners' income taxes. Regulation increases are also being proposed that will enhance environmental and social control by the central government. But it is in spending that we are currently seeing the almost unlimited acceleration. Although President Trump began the cycle with his initial stimulus package, it has been under President Biden that we've seen it expand to a dizzying degree. It seems that there is a never-ending parade of new spending proposals coming out of 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue, with one barely implemented before the next one works its way through Congress. Up currently is the nearly $2 trillion infrastructure plan. It is this never-ending spending that has, I believe, caused businesses and individuals to anticipate an ever-increasing level of prices. It's an inflation mindset, which once it gets hold of a nation's psyche, is almost impossible to break. From the consumer, the attitude is spend now before prices rise. From the borrower, the attitude take out that loan now and pay back with cheaper dollars. And from businesses, raise prices now before the cost of goods go up. Inflation is one of the most pernicious issues that any economy can face, and it looks like we're being asked to face that issue right now. So just a little over 100 days in office, we see a 4.2% inflation rate as one of the first measures of the new administration's new direction for the American economy. Now, one of the downstream results from this surge in inflation will be to push up interest rates on U.S. Treasury notes and bonds, whereas last night we saw Japan, a country which has its inflation well under control. Japan was able to roll over its government bonds at a rate of less than 0.75%. That represents a tremendous savings on a nation's debt load, and one to which we may become envious in short order. In other economic news this morning, in just a few moments we'll get the latest numbers on those initial claims for unemployment. Last week, claims came in at less than 500,000, and the street hopes that will become a trend. I'll be looking to see if those initial claims come in at less than 500,000 today. In earnings, a couple of major foreign companies have reported their results. So far, Alibaba, the Chinese Amazon, reported better than expected results, while Petrobras Brazil, the giant Brazilian oil company, disappointed. After markets close this afternoon, media company Walt Disney will announce their results. And that's the value side for Thursday, May 13. I'm David Ravel. Please join me in praying that our country may get back to work.